Look at these boobas. Hey Ren, what size bra do you wear? Hello everybody, today we are checking out 14 Days With You. This is a Yandere dating sim and there are currently 3 days released and I'm super excited to take you through the days one by one. Let's get started. So you can name yourself here, so I'm just gonna put my own name. She, her pronouns, and not safe for work seat, hehe. Ooh, I can pick my bits as well. Yinny? I see. I can't wait to finally meet you, Angel. Oh boy. So I know the protagonist's name is Ren, and I'm very excited to meet Ren. Ren is actually one of my favorite names. And in other news, the remains of yet another body has been pulled out from Lake Blue Moss, making it a total of 4 unidentifiable victims this past year. Authorities believe that. Ugh. Circling a groan with the rim of my coffee cup, I fish around for the remote lodge between the cushions and turn off the TV. I wasn't about to let some morbid headline dampen the start of my cheerful morning, especially considering how today was going to be my first day at work after finally getting that hard-earned promotion. I mean, sure, stacking and sorting through books at a library might not have been my dream job, or even my first choice of places to work after moving back. But the pay was nice, my co-workers were friendly, and the building was located within the perfect walking distance from my apartment. There was even this adorable little bakery shop along the way that served the best shortcakes and croissants known to mankind, and the manager there always loved to hand out small freebies whenever I stopped by. It still beats living in the city though. Honestly, I wasn't even sure why I left my hometown in the first place. The fast-paced hustle and bustle lifestyle of the city just wasn't what I was longing for. I mean, yeah, that's kind of mood. I kind of wish I could just move away somewhere very, very far and have really good internet. Whenever I stared out my window on sleepless nights, and the people there were always rude and indignant. Kinda sounds like Sydney. It was nothing like Corlin Bay, where everyone felt like a close-knit family, and the air smelled like the sea rather than pollution. And sure, the local crime rate might be getting out of hand as of late, and there might be fewer things for me to do here, but my new job keeps me busy and I prefer spending time alone at the beach over visiting shady bars of people I barely considered friends. In fact, setting my mug on the table, I reach into my pocket and pull out my phone. A notification from Moth, my online friend, pops up, so I tap the screen to read their message. What greets me is an adorable sticker of some anime character giving a thumbs up, as well as a short message that says, "Good luck today," underneath. Moth had always been adamant about showing their endless support for me, even after 5 years of friendship, cursed memes, and shitty Wi-Fi calls. And even though I would never admit it out loud, I was truly grateful to have someone like them in my life. Pulling up the keyboard, I begin to type a response to their message. How will you respond? Send back a meme with zero context. This is me. Me and my endless repertoire of SpongeBob memes. Without missing a beat, I open up the image gallery with practice fingers and send back a blurry picture of a worm in a bag of crisps with the word "sexy" written in glitter. Not even 5 seconds pass before Moth quips back with a response of their own, this time sending their own cryptic meme of a frog sitting on a slice of bread. Is that butter? Before I can ask, a grey chat bubble pops up once more, indicating that Moth is still typing another message. By the way, did you see the latest AOG app? I heard Haruko got an outfit change. Spoiler for me. Did he really change his hairstyle as well? Attack on Giants, or AOG, as Moth liked to call it, was a popular anime series that we recently became obsessed with, and Haruko was the main character from the show. Do they have an equivalent of Levi Ackerman? Because that man hot. He was a sorcerer known for his shy and airheaded demeanor, and as of late, his hairstyle had become a trending topic within the community. Now that I thought about it, what hairstyle did Haruko have in the latest episode? Medium hair, kind of like the Eren Yeager hair when he's like in his 20s? With the little man bun on the back, that was hot. Oh, so it's still relatively the same length then. Phew, I must have been looking at fake news or something. Either way, I don't mean to change the subject, but didn't you say last night that you were gonna head to work at 8 AM? Cause it's almost 9:30 where you are right now, right? Or am I just dumb and got the time zones mixed up again? Looking at the time displayed on my phone, I immediately let out a string of curses and leaped to my feet. Shit! Grabbing the coat I had carelessly strewn across the back of the sofa earlier, I quickly shrug it on before making a beeline towards the front door. Before I leave, however, I spare myself one final glance in the poorly hung mirror in the hallway. Hopefully, the outfit I chose was appropriate for my job. What style did you go for? Am I go cutesy alternative? That'd be cute, but I think we'll go with cutesy. You can't go wrong with a bit of pastel, bows and frills. Giving myself a small spin in the mirror, I admire how soft the fabric and patterns flow around me. But enough of that, I can check myself out another time. Hastily, I smooth out the wrinkles and pick off stray pieces of lint from my sleeves before I finally head out the front door, and almost catch my coat on the door handle in the process. I like the backgrounds. I haven't mentioned this yet, but I like how the backgrounds all blend into the one color. It's really nice. With a grumble, I tug at the fabric of my coat before slamming the door shut with a little bit too much force unnecessary. Even trying to insert my key came with a bit of a struggle. I had to fight the urge to yell in frustration as I attempted to lock my door. Seriously, when will that lazy bum of a landlord do something about this? I swear I've complained about this like 4 times this month. Oh, she's cute. Hang on a second, I think I'm in the way if I sit up here. Hang on. Let me move myself like down the bottom. Down the bottom you go, Yinny, because you know, you are also a bottom. My neighbor, Violet, practically beams at me while she fishes through her pockets for her own apartment key. Resting on her hip was yet another potted plant, and I found myself wondering where she was going to put it this time. I was almost entirely convinced that her whole apartment had been turned into a greenhouse at this point, considering how her balcony was practically filled to the brim with different kinds of plants, greenery, and other kinds of flora. But I wasn't about to complain or anything. The fragrance wafted in with the wind always smelled floral and earthy, and it did well to mask the smell of smoke and burnt food whenever I tried to cook. Wait, I don't burn my food, I'm pretty decent at cooking. Hey, yeah, it's just my style. You look so cute. Her voice pulls me away from my thoughts, and I notice how the growing smile on her face doesn't seem to falter. In response, I shoot her one of my own. It was apparently enough to brighten her mood even more than it was already. How you respond. It's nice to see you again. Yeah, it's nice to see you too. Usually, I'd still be up at the flower shop at this time, so it's nice to be able to finally catch up with you like this, especially when our schedules align. Speaking of, you should stop by my place the next time you're free. I'd love to introduce you to this little guy's family. Oh, I almost forgot. I've been meaning to ask you this, but when were you gonna tell me that you were seeing someone? Huh? A knowing look pulls at her features as Violet continues to fiddle with the lock on the door. What are you talking about? Come on, don't act like you didn't just have a guy over last night. I saw him leaving when I took Kathy out for a walk. What? I'd be more worried about my neighbor taking her plants, named plants, out on a walk at night. But the thought of someone leaving my apartment seemed to set off way more alarm bells. I mean, as it should. I give Violet a concerned look, and she picks up on it almost immediately. You don't remember? Don't tell me you were drunk or something. With a huff, she gives up on trying to unlock her door. It seemed as though we both shared the same problem with our apartment locks, and places her potted plant on the ground, before slowly making her way towards me. Tall guy? Wearing a dark slasher hoodie? Probably into either old-fashioned or bondage with the crazy amount of belts and loops wrapped around his leg. Or he's like super duper into Kingdom Hearts. Ring any bells? No. Last night I was just catching up on some TV shows and talking with my friend. No one came here. Even if they did, I would have heard them. My place isn't really that big anyway. Really? But I was so sure it was your door. A hand rests on her cheek in a thinking manner, before she pouts up at me, seemingly giving in, for now. Well, alright then. Maybe it was someone else's apartment. I mean, it's always so dark in these hallways at night, honestly. What is our landlord doing? Would you mind if I check in with security downstairs later? It'll give me some peace of mind. Yeah, that's fine. Alrighty then. Thank you, Yinny. Well, I get some plants to water and some emmos to raid in, so... Violet lets out one last huff before she picks up her plant. What does she name this one again? And goes back to unlocking her door. Good talk, I guess, even if it was kinda awkward. Yeah, sure. See you later, Vi. Slipping past my neighbor and into the cramped hallway, I quickly make for the stairs. When would they fix that broken elevator? And break into a slight jog? Thankfully, the weather was cool today, and the shoes I chose weren't gonna leave me with blisters by the time I reached the library. Hooray! The smell of old paper, coffee, and soft incense floods my senses as I step through the library's glass doors. The melodic chimes alert the woman at the reception desk of my arrival, and I watch as she tucks a strand of stray blonde hair behind her ear as she turns around to greet me. Good morning, Eleanor. Oh, she's so pretty. I really like the art in this. Everyone looks so soft and nice. Oh, she looks surprised for some reason, before her expression morphs into a soft smile, and she beckons me closer with a nod of her head. Eleanor is one of my co-workers here at Corlin Bay Library, and one of the very few people here who actually gets the work done. And although she's notorious for being rather scatterbrained, she more than makes up for it with her caring and doting attitude towards everyone. But her nurturing personality can get rather overbearing at times, and I often find myself having to step away to get some breathing room. Nevertheless, she's charming to work with, and I appreciate her always looking out for me. After all, who knows what my sleeping schedule would have looked like without her help? Do I need an Eleanor in my life? Because I sleep at like 4 in the morning. Yinny, just on time. I printed out your... Wait, where did I... Her expression turns into a slight panic as she spins on her heels. I silently watch with amusement as she shuffles through the various books and stacks of papers lining her desk. Where did I leave it? Ah, here it is. Spinning around once more, Eleanor comes back and hands me a sheet of paper with the word schedule printed in big bold letters. I take it from her grasp and give the sheet a once over. Well, it looks like I'm going to be busy for the next few weeks. But I guess Eleanor doesn't seem to share the same disdain as me, judging from the playful look plastered on her face. So, how does it feel to no longer be the one in charge of stacking books all day long? Although, you still have to work the front desk from time to time though, unfortunately. I offer a weak smile at her words before rounding the corner and placing my bag under the desk. As I begin to pull out some of my belongings, the front door chimes again, letting everyone know that another patron has come in. Figuring Eleanor has it all covered, I leave the customer to her and go back to preparing everything for the day. But as I turn around to check on her, I notice that she has already finished greeting the customer and was on her way back to her own desk across from mine. As if sensing my gaze, she spins around in her office chair and flashes me a teasing grin. Looks like he's back again. Eleanor gives a soft chuckle as she inclines her head in the direction of the person she was talking about. You know, that new guy. I don't know when he started showing up here in the Bay, but he always comes in and rents out the books you recommend on the display window. And if I didn't know better, I'd say he has a little crush on you. Especially with that outfit you got on, you look amazing, so I can't really fault him for staring. Because he was staring. Oh. A lot. Snorting, I push Eleanor's office chair so that she's facing the other way and focus my attention back to the papers in front of me. I was with everyone today, always smiling and gossiping about other people and meddling in business that wasn't their own. It was bad enough that I had to deal with a potential intruder, but I doubt my deadbeat landlord was going to do anything about it. I might need to buy a stronger lock on my way home, maybe even some kind of alarm system. But would the store still be open by then? All of a sudden, I get pulled backwards as Eleanor playfully wheels my chair around and leans over my shoulder to softly speak into my ear. Would you look at that? Lover boy in aisle 8 needs some help, it seems. She nods in the direction of the red light flashing above the bookshelves, signaling to staff that someone in that row needed assistance. Oh my god, I can't wait to meet him. With a sigh, I reluctantly stand up and make my way over. I already knew for a fact that Eleanor wasn't going to go help them herself, so I begrudgingly begin to make my way towards aisle 8 alone. I knew better than to glance back at her, though knowing fully well that my teasing co-worker would be sporting the biggest grin on her face at my misfortune. Oh, I'm so ready. Ducking around the corner and into the aisle, I was immediately met with a broad backside. Like his butt? I was immediately met with a broad backside that was covered by what had to be the comfiest looking cardigan I'd ever seen. So we know that he's pretty wide, like built like a door wide. The person whom it belonged to, however, hadn't seemed to notice me yet. So I awkwardly clear my throat and absent-mindedly shift my weight from one foot to the other. Oh my god! Is that a neck tattoo? Look at that cute little jumper! And the painted nails and the clips in his hair. Oh my god, he's just the bee's knees, isn't he? I love him. He seems to jump at the sudden noise before sheepishly turning around to face me. Immediately, I was taken aback by his soft demeanor, doe-like eyes, and imposing height. I can climb him like a tree. So this was the guy who always rented out my recommended books on display window, huh? He definitely fit the aesthetic of a cozy literature lover needing a good book. His pink hair also reminded me of Haruko, an anime character I'd recently been obsessing over with Moth during our late-night video calls. In fact, even the overall cut and style appeared vaguely similar to his. But then again, this hairstyle could have been trending right now or something, and I just so happened to be the last to know about it. Or he did his hair like that on purpose because he knows you like Haruko. But now that I really but now that I really had a good look at the man, which proved difficult considering his towering height, this stranger also seemed to bear a near picture-perfect resemblance to the main lead from the webtoon I was reading. It was called Always With You, and it revolved around the main character meeting the love of her life at the library where they both... Oh? Oh, he's so cute. As if noticing my spaced out look, the stranger absent-mindedly scratches at his jaw while he waits for me to snap out of my thoughts. In fact, I had been so distracted that I didn't even realize that he'd been muttering quietly to himself. I wasn't expecting you to show up so soon. Sorry, I hope I'm not bothering you. I was just looking for, His voice pulls me back to the present, and I hastily try to make sense of what was spilling from his cherry-tinted lips. Watching him struggle with his words would have made anyone feel bad, so I offer him a reassuring smile in return, and an encouraging nod of my head. At that, he takes a steady inhale of air before trying again. I need some help. I'm looking for a specific book, you see, but... And now he's playing with the ends of his sleeves. Oh, how cute. I feel the sudden urge to reach out and stop him. Did I find the action annoying? Endearing? Relatable? Who knows? But instead I held back and waited for him to find the words to speak. But wow, even his mannerisms were eerily similar to Haruko's. Is he actually similar by nature, or has he adopted a personality to appear more appealing to us? The endearing awkwardness and sleeve tugging gave me a sense of deja vu, and it honestly felt like he walked straight out of the anime and into this very library. Man, Moth is gonna freak when I tell them about this later. The stranger in front of me takes in another shaky inhale before he tries to speak once more, this time with a lot more confidence in his tone and a fire in his eye. Do you have any books on native flora? The best I found are on generic wildlife, but nothing about colon-based plants. Or maybe I'm just in the wrong aisle. He was looking for a book about the native flora? Perhaps I should introduce him to Violet. Chuckling to myself at the thought, I stepped closer to the tall man and began scanning the contents of the shelf beside him. He almost seems to flinch at the sudden closeness between us, but showed no signs of moving away. In fact, he seemed to almost lean closer and incline his head towards mine, and had I not been too preoccupied with finding that book, I would have noticed how his breath hitches in his throat as my scent floods his senses. No, you're definitely in the right aisle. Those kind of books are just more hidden, I guess. I step past him and make my way over to the lower part of the shelves. Absent-mindedly, I run a finger against the spines of each book until I come into contact with one book in particular. Then, bending over slightly, I pull the book from the shelf and give the cover a once-over before offering it to the man behind me. Is this what you're looking for? Too preoccupied with the misplaced book on the bookshelf, who brings cookbooks to the nature aisle? I barely notice how his blue eyes hungrily trail across my form before landing on the book held out in my outstretched hand. Oh? With shaky fingers, he reaches out and takes it from me. I watch as he flips through a few pages to take in some information before finally setting on the book with an affirmative nod. Yes, this is exactly what I was looking for. Thank you. I'm glad. You're like an angel sent down from heaven or something. You're so helpful. Kind, too. What? What? Did I say that out loud? I didn't mean to. Oh, that must have been so weird. I'm so sorry. He looked as though he was about to cry, so I hastily threw up my hands in a comforting manner and shot him a reassuring smile. Hey, it's fine. No need to freak out. I wasn't expecting someone to say that about me is all. Really? Well, I think it's true for what it's worth. You really are like an angel. Thanks? Figuring that was my cue to leave before things got awkward, I give him one last friendly smile and suddenly glance back towards the front desk. But the eccentric man showed no signs of moving. Instead, he just looked down at me expectantly. Did he want to continue the conversation? It seemed unlikely, as he didn't say anything. He simply stared at me. Awkwardly, I clear my throat for what had to be the millionth time today and gesture vaguely to the reception desk behind me. Well, if you don't need any more help, I should. This is just getting weird now. Should I even attempt to continue this conversation or just leave? I mean, it would seem rude to just walk away abruptly, especially considering how he's apparently a regular patron in a library that I worked at. But he wasn't making much of an effort either, so what should I do? Oh god. We can keep talking to him, I guess. So, do you come here often? Seriously, Yinny? That was the best you could come up with? Damn it, now he probably thinks I'm the weird one. Yes, actually. I like visiting whenever I have some free time. Although I end up coming here just to hide away in a corner somewhere and look at you. Book collection. You have a lot of interesting books here. Lots and lots of books. Yeah, I mean, it is a library after all. But sure, whatever you say, Mr. Actually, now that I think about it, you haven't told me your name yet. Oh, I guess you're right. You can call me. Why is it redacted? Why is it glitchy? Hang on a second, what's going on? What? It was like he said something, but his voice was delayed. Was that even his voice? Was he speaking English? It almost felt like something that came out of a dream. How did you do that? Do what? Anyways, you can just call me Ren if you like. Is it alright if I call you Yinny? Although, Angel to suit you just as well. In my personal opinion, at least. Seriously, what the hell just happened? Was I just imagining things? I really wonder about the redacted thing. Is he some sort of entity? Maybe like an eldritch entity with tentacles? Are you okay? Yeah, I think, but how did you know my name? I don't remember telling you. Silly, it's on your name tag. As if to prove a point, Ren reaches out to gently flick the name tag I somehow forgot that I had put on this morning. Oh, Yinny is a cute name though. And it's really, really, really fun to say, especially over and over again. Right? Anyways. Say, you busy later tonight? I'd love to thank you for helping me find this book. Seriously, what was up with this guy? One minute he's shy and the next he's bold. It was almost like he was putting up several fronts to see which one I responded to better. That's really creepy. Actually, I'll be busy this afternoon. I need to buy a new lock for my apartment. A new lock? That doesn't sound good. Can I ask why? I guess it wouldn't hurt to tell him. I mean, what was he gonna do? Personally show up at my doorstep and test the new lock himself? If only. Apparently, someone broke into my apartment last night, and I didn't notice. I don't think they stole anything, but still, it's creepy. I figured it's better to be safe than sorry, you know? Yeah, but it sounds like instead of a lock, you just need to jump the scumbag when they least expect it and beat him up to teach him a lesson. Stay up all night if you have to, really get the edge on them. I couldn't help but let out a genuine chuckle at his suggestion. If I had to choose, then this would have been the side of him that I preferred. He seemed at ease, and his words weren't forced or awkward. Yeah? He's gonna be the one to beat up a guy at 3 AM. Because last I checked, I'm not really the type to go throwing punches at people I don't know, and definitely not before the sun is up and shining. I could do it for you. You? But I mean, we didn't even know each other that well, and that's fine. I could tell you all about myself on the walk there. My whole life story and everything. Where I was born, the school I went to, how many cute librarians I've met, which happens to be one, so far. Before I could even comment on his sudden confidence, Ren seems to pick up on my discomfort at his choice of words. If it even was discomfort I was feeling, and hastily backtracks. Hey, or not. I was just messing around. I didn't mean to make you uncomfortable. There it was again, a subtle shift in his personality. But now that he mentioned it, would it really hurt to invite him to my place for the night? Yeah, probably would. He definitely looked like he could handle himself in a fight, his contrasting outfit aside. So maybe it wasn't that bad of an idea. How you respond. Alright. Come over. Actually, you know what? Would you mind coming over and staying the night? Yiddy! This is a man that you've just met. Girl! I feel a bit safer knowing someone else was around. Oh, you actually want me to come over? I mean, yeah. Sure. Definitely. He seems a bit too eager for this. If it's not too much trouble, Where is she, Yinny? Ah! Look at his angry face. As soon as someone else appears. Someone at the front desk is looking for you and oh, sorry, are you busy right now? I can... Impeccable timing as always, Eleanor. No, it's fine. I think everything is handled here, right? I give the two of them a soft smile before making my way towards the reception desk. But as I pass Eleanor, I gently clasp a hand on her shoulder and shoot her a playful look of my own. If you need more help, I'm sure Eleanor here can assist you. She loves helping others, right? As I turn to leave, I barely miss the way Ren's eyes zone in on my hand resting on Eleanor's shoulder. Uh-oh. Hours seem to pass by in a blur, and soon enough, I find myself resting in the employee lounge. My mind drifts back to the guy from earlier, and I couldn't help but wonder what happened to him afterwards. Did he rent out the book I offered? What about my recommended novel of the week? Ren surely was strange, to say the least, but I had to admit that he did seem kinda cute with his oversized cardigan and timid demeanor. He still gave me off-putting vibes though. Yeah, and you invited him over. Yeah, you invited him to stay the night, despite him giving you off-putting vibes. Though, especially with his ever-changing personality, and if I had to be completely honest, that shy and timid persona that he displayed felt rather forced to me. It was almost as if he saw it on TV or something and wanted to try it out for himself, and I just happened to be one of his first victims. But who was I to call him out for it? That was his business if he wanted to act all shy and demure. Almost as if he, I think he probably realized that we really liked that anime and then he decided to mimic the main pro tag. Oh, hello. His name's Conan. Yinny, everything alright? It's not often I find you here at this time. Conan, my boss, startles me as he suddenly appears in the entranceway. Everyone saw him as some kind of blessing to this institution, because the moment he showed up, all forms of trouble seemed to disappear overnight. Those low-life teens started causing chaos elsewhere, and the rumored gangs became few and far between. At first I thought he might have been linked with these criminals because of his intimidating gaze and facial scar, but then I got to know him better and found that he held a massive soft spot for those dear to him. Though much like Eleanor, Conan felt more like a father figure, which how much he fretted over his staff and their well-being. Aww. I mean, he literally installed a new aircon and water dispenser last week because one of his employees fainted due to heat stroke. That's so sweet. Bare minimum for the boss though, if I do say so myself. It wasn't anything too major, but it was nice to know that our boss was considerate enough about the people he hired. I doubt I could say the same about my old job in the city. Conan was also nice to chat to whenever I went on my breaks, and would always encourage me to take as much time I needed before I returned to my desk. But after realizing that I had once again been spacing out, I pulled myself away from my thoughts and turned to offer my boss an acknowledging smile. Yeah, I'm fine, just taking a short break. I'll be out there soon. Take as long as you need, don't overwork yourself. He seems hesitant to leave, if the way he was shifting from one foot to another was any indication. He shoots me a concerned look before opening his mouth, only to close it once more in contemplation. Have you seen Eleanor? I asked her to come see me regarding the unsorted novels, but she's yet to show up. Please don't tell me something happened to Eleanor. Eleanor? Last I saw her, she was talking to one of our patrons in aisle 8. Maybe she's still there? I'll have to check again then. Thank you. Please don't let anything bad happen to Eleanor. I really liked her, she's sweet. And with that, he disappeared just as quietly as he came. But that was odd. It wasn't like Eleanor to suddenly go missing. Was she still occupied with Ren? It had been a while, so I figured she would have finished helping him and left by now. Oh well, I'm sure she'll turn up sooner or later. Ren didn't seem much like a talkative person anyway. Jeez, why do my thoughts keep turning to that eccentric man? Deciding that I wasn't going to waste my time thinking about any more pink-haired guys, my beloved Haruko aside, I got up from the lounge and meandered my way back to the front desk. But once I arrived, I immediately noticed that my chatty coworker was still nowhere to be found. It was just like my boss had said, Eleanor wasn't anywhere to be seen. And it wasn't like her to leave the reception desk unattended for so long. Maybe she managed to knock over a pile of books again and was busy cleaning it up? It certainly wouldn't be anything out of the ordinary for her. Well, whatever, I'm sure she'll turn up again soon. The impact from me plopping down into my office chair causes some of the papers around me to rustle, and a bright pink sticky note fluttering around captures my attention. Assuming it was left here by Eleanor, I peeled the folded note off my computer and read it. Angel! Unfolding it read the following. I'll wait for you after work, but if you change your mind about our deal, just keep walking. I'll take the hint. Don't worry. That stuttering guy from aisle 8. The stuttering guy from aisle 8. I couldn't help but crack a smile at the name Ren chose for himself, and before I could allow Eleanor the chance to manifest behind me and to tease me to Kingdom Come, I pocket the note and go back to sorting through the stack of returned books left on the desk. Oh god. I I worry about Eleanor. And true to his word, I caught a glimpse of Ren patiently waiting for me on one of the benches as I pack up for the day and leave the library. From afar, he looked like an oversized puppy waiting for his owner to return from work, and admittedly, I found it rather cute, especially with how his figurative tail started to wag upon my arrival. Ren seems all too happy to see me, but before I call him out on it, he offers me a bottle of water that I assumed he bought from one of the convenience stores down the street. Okay, that's real sweet. Okay, that's really sweet. You worked hard today. Now you can finally rest, huh? He's looking down at me with a glimmer of expectancy in his eyes, so I hesitantly take the bottled water from his grasp and give him an affirmative nod of my head. Thanks. No problem. Did you want to head off now, or do you want to rest for a bit? I mean, you were standing a lot today. He seems almost lost in his thoughts now, and I wonder how he knew what I'd been doing all day. After all, I figured he would have left after I found that book, but maybe he stayed a bit longer to read it. Oh, no, I'm fine, but do you think we could make a quick detour on the way? I still need to... Oh, wait, who's this? I like them, but I'm also worried about them, because look at Ren's face. Yay. And this and Leah, they're both so cute. Heyo. I could recognize those boisterous voices everywhere. The first one belonged to Jaehyun, a guy I had met during my early days at uni. He sat next to me during the first few days of orientation and even offered to lend me his phone charger when my battery started to run out. He's a fun guy to be around, though his extroverted and energetic personality was often hard to keep up with. But Leon, the other guy awkwardly hanging off of Jay's arm, was a different story. We'd practically known each other since we were babies, but he moved away from Colin Bay when we were still in elementary school. Oh no, not the childhood friend. The childhood friend is always in danger. I wasn't sure when he moved back to the Bay, but it was great knowing I'd be able to see him again. I just wish I could find the time to hang out with him just like we used to. But I was always busy with work, and he was always busy playing volleyball and taking care of his sick mother in the hospital. Before I knew it, I was being pulled out of my thoughts by Jay's bubbly laughter. Hey, still with us? Hey, Yinny, finally finished with work? Oh, and who's this? This is Ren. We actually met at work today. Maybe it wasn't a good idea to tell Leon that the human personification of overprotective that I just met the man today. What would he think if he found out I was bringing home a complete stranger? Me, usually rents out my recommended books at the library. Anyways. Leon, Jay, this is Ren. Ren, this is Leon and Jay. Unfortunately, these guys are my friends. It's truly unfortunate to know a handsome bloke such as myself. Leon dramatically clutches the spot above his heart as he leans further into Jay's shoulder. So you're Ren. Are you new here? I like to think I know everyone here at the Bay, but it seems you've proven me wrong. Yeah, I recently moved here a couple months ago. Oh, same as Yinny. I'm pretty sure she moved back like, 2 months ago, right? Leon looks at me for confirmation and I meekly nod my head. Strange how I've only been back here for 2 months and I've yet to find enough time to catch up with all my friends. Did Ren follow us from another city? Oh! What a coincidence. Anyways, talking about moving is boring. You wanna come hang with us? I barely noticed the way Ren gets shoved to the side by Jay, intentional or not, nor could I make out the scowl on his face as soon as the excitable man leans a little too close into my personal bubble. Please don't hurt Jay. We were just about to head over to Club Shoreline. You wanna come? I'm sure Leon wouldn't mind paying for you as well. Oh wait, I don't mind paying for her, but who said anything about paying for you? I did, just now. Thanks, Leon, you're the best. I don't miss the way Leon rolls his eyes at Jay's antics before settling his gaze on me once more. You wanna tag along? I really don't mind paying if you do. Sorry guys, I've actually already made plans. And do these plans have anything to do with this lanky fellow? My name is Ren. Actually, yeah, I promised I'd hang out with him today. Oh, we can come clubbing with us too. More the merrier. I'd rather not. Sorry, maybe another time. I'm kinda drained from work anyway, so... Hey, no worries, doll. Just make sure you take it easy when you get back home, yeah? He shoots me a considerate smile before throwing an arm over Jay's shoulder. Well then, if you'll excuse us, I gotta find a way to get this knucklehead to cover his own entry fees. We can all catch up another time, okay? And if you need help with anything, just give me a ring, yeah? I'll watch my phone like a hawk tonight. It was nice catching up with you again, doll, and nice meeting you too, Ron. As they leave, I notice the way Leon looks Ren up and down, almost as if he was sizing him up. But Jay, like always, ignores the mood and thumps Leon in the back to encourage him to walk faster. I watch as they both throw a carefree wave over their shoulders, as they both head off in the direction of the nightclub a few blocks down the street. Ren? Oh my god, Leon is Dunyan Rings. So, that wasn't awkward at all. I turned to look at Ren, but his eyes seemed to be fixated on the two retreating figures. He doesn't seem to snap out of it, so I gently call his name. Sorry. Do you wanna head back home now? In the end, we made a quick detour to the local locksmith before heading back to my apartment. Are we gonna do it? I would like to do it. I mean, what? So this is my place. You'll have to excuse the mess. I wasn't expecting to have anyone over. Hey, don't worry about it. I know you're not a messy person. I mean, from what I can tell, you don't really seem like the type. Yeah? Well, I hope you can still keep that image of me after you see the state of my place. His soft laughter echoes down the hallway and almost drowns out the sound of my neighbor opening her door. Oh! Violet almost seems embarrassed as she jumps behind her door, clearly not expecting someone to be around at this time, but she brushes it off with a soft smile and steps outside. Hello again, Yinny. We seem to keep bumping into each other a lot today. Huh? Oh, who's this? I explained to my neighbor that Ren wasn't some guy I just met at work today. I'm certain she'd chew me out for bringing home a complete stranger. I'm chewing you out for bringing home a complete stranger. Why? But still, he didn't seem like the type to murder me in my sleep. In fact, he seemed more like the type of guy that asked me to return his order because he asked for no pickles or something. I'm Ren. Immediately, his large frame blocks my view as he steps in front of my neighbor and me, almost as if he wanted to put as much distance between us as possible. One of his hands shoots out from inside his pocket, and he gruffly offers it to Violet for her to shake. Concerned about his abrupt actions, I sidestep him and look up to gauge his expression. I'm a friend of Yinny's. I see. I haven't seen you around here before though. Are you new to the area? Relax, Vi, he's not a serial killer or anything. At least, I sure hope he wasn't. And why did I feel the sudden urge to defend him? It wasn't like I could confidently say that he was some holy being that flew down from heaven or something. Maybe he was the one who needed to be called Angel instead? Oh well, it didn't really matter. Really, Ren offered to stay at my place for the night in case that creep decides to come back. Oh, well, I mean he certainly has the height for it. I get that a lot. But don't worry, she's safe in my hands. Well, alright then, a friend of Yinny is a friend of mine. But I have my eye on you, Mr. Totally Not a Serial Killer. She whispers the next part to Ren under her breath, but clearly had the intention of letting me hear it as well. Just remember that I know what you look like now, so don't complain if you see your face plastered all over milk cartons soon enough. Well, alrighty then, enjoy your night and no funny business, you two. But I like funny business. What if I want to fandangle as Wimwam? What if I want to do like the horizontal tango? What if I want to commit coitus? I'm off for my walk now. Doodles! Ignore her, please. Alright. Okay, but I gotta ask, was she holding a potted plant? On a walk? Yes, she was. Dropping my keys into the bowl, I shrug out of my coat and drape it over one of the chairs near the entrance. Well, make yourself at home. Turning to Ren, I watch as he awkwardly shuffles about in the hallway, almost uncertain if he should come inside or not. He moves to take off his shoes and I watch in awe as he neatly stacks them next to the umbrella rack. Oh, are you the type to leave your shoes on at home? Sorry, No. I take my shoes off at the door. I am Asian. If I do not take my shoes at the door, my ancestors will be very disappointed in me. God, he really was adorable. But now that he was here, I wasn't quite sure what to do next. Kiss? Usually I'd pop on a TV show or some anime while I chow down on some takeaway food, or even just talk with Moth until some unreasonable hour in the morning. But now that I had company over, I wasn't quite sure what to do. I didn't even know what Ren liked to do in his free time. Turning to face the pink-haired man once more, I almost jumped back in fright. Clearly, I wasn't expecting him to get so close to me while I was lost in thought. I could almost feel the heat radiating from his large frame, and I feel the small puffs of air leave his nostrils as he shyly leans down to look at me. So... Breathe, Yinny. Breathe. Was there anything you wanted to do? Or... because I usually just... Damn it, it was hard to think straight when he was standing so close to me and wafting his stupidly strong scent of mint and fresh linen in my direction. Why was I even so attentive to the way Ren smelled? I'm beginning to sound like a creep. Nah, I don't really have anything I need to do. You can just go about your normal routine if you want. I'll try not to get in your way. Or you can just put me in a corner somewhere and pretend I'm not there. Whatever works for you. No offense, but you take up much more room than you think, so I doubt that would work. Touché. Once again, I found myself being drawn in by his soft laughter, and I couldn't help but chuckle along with him. Was it always this easy talking to him? It was like we were childhood friends, reminiscing about old times or something. Except the only one making it awkward was now me. Glancing back at Ren, I notice how he's still looking at me with those expectant eyes as he looms over me in the entryway. He obviously didn't want to do something I'd be uncomfortable with, and he couldn't really suggest anything since this wasn't his home. So I guess the choice was up to me after all. Suggest getting ready for bed, make a late night snack. If we get ready for bed, is he gonna come with me into the bed? Hehe. We can watch some TV together. Well then, I usually just watch TV while I get ready for bed. Do you wanna watch something to pass the time? Sounds great to me. Once we were both seated and comfortable on the couch, I pick up the remote and decide on something to watch. There wasn't much on at this time, besides some B-list horror flick, and to my surprise, I found that Ren actually liked those kinds of movies. Or at least, he seems to enjoy it with the way he was hunched over in his seat, gaze intently staring at the screen as the hunt sequence begins. But I suppose I could understand the intrigue, seeing as once I glanced back at the television, I found myself completely enraptured by the suspense and overall chilling atmosphere. The killer was chasing down his victim now, and I watched with bated breath as he stalks his way towards the door, cutting off the glow of light from underneath the doorframe, almost smugly, like he knew exactly where his victim was hiding. The masked killer knocks on the door before letting himself in. He walks with heavy footsteps towards the edge of the bed, before ever so slowly bending down, lifting the quilt up, raising his axe, and... Ah! What? It wasn't the jump scare that got me, but rather Ren's abrupt yelp, clenching my shirt where my rapid heartbeat thrummed against my chest. I spare a glance at the lanky man with a fleeting anger in my eyes. Sorry, I really didn't think a cheap jump scare like that would get me. And here I thought you enjoyed watching these kinds of films. I do, I guess I wasn't paying too much attention this time. I see. I didn't, in fact, see. We can change a movie if you'd like. You don't have to watch it because of me. I know you prefer watching anime anyway. No, I don't mind watching some scary movie if you... How did you know I like watching anime? That side of me wasn't something I go around telling attractive strangers, and I'd certainly remember if I told Ren. I saw one of your posters on the wall when we came in. Attack on Giants or something, I think. Oh, right. I forgot I hung that up when I first moved here, but I'm surprised he noticed it from all the way in the lounge room. But shouldn't it be dark by now in that hallway? It's not like there were any windows to let in the moonlight, and I hadn't turned on the light yet. I actually like that anime too. I recently started watching it because, well, I thought it looked interesting. He watches Attack on Giant. Well, now that I've thought about it, it made a lot of sense. He definitely gave off Haruko vibes, and his oddly specific hairstyle and timid personality were proof of that. And again, it really might have been a coincidence after all, but there was no harm in asking, right? Is that why you styled your hair like that? Because it honestly reminds me of one of the characters from it. He's one of my favorite characters, actually. Do you know him? Haruko? He's a sorcerer who... Come on, Yinny, tone it down. If this wasn't moth you were gushing to, no one needed to see this cringy side of you. Although looking at Ren, he did seem to be interested in what I had to say. But then again, he was probably just being nice. Maybe it's just a trending haircut or something. Sorry. I like Haruko too. He's very timid and sweet, isn't he? I guess that's why he's a fan favorite, huh? Do you normally go for guys like him? There's that switch in personality again. Was he always like this? I was beginning to think that it was more than just an act he was putting on. He's your type, right? Actually, I get a weird sense of deja vu from his words, and I find myself thinking back to the time when Moth asked me that very same question. Is he Moth? And now that I thought about it, Ren definitely fit the description I gave them. He had Haruko's looks and personality, but also liked to dress in that cozy, soft academia aesthetic that I liked. But my interests were ever-changing and dependent on my hyperfixation, so I couldn't say for certain what my current type was. As if noticing my far-off stare, Ren breaks the silence by talking once more. Oh, but you asked about my hair, right? I guess it does have something to do with Haruko, but at the same time, not really. I chose this hairstyle because of other reasons. Well, that certainly was ominous. But before I could ask, I watch as Ren subtly tries to mask a yawn by turning his head to the side while covering his mouth. It was endearing how he tried to pass it off as though he was simply looking around the room, but I knew better. Tired? I can go get your bed set up if you like. Just give me a second to pull out the air mattress. It's fine, I don't want to be a bother. I can just sleep on the floor or something. I really don't mind, honest. But I have timber flooring. Seriously, don't worry about it. It'll just be 2 seconds. Maybe he can sleep in my bed with me. I get up from my spot on the couch and make a beeline for my closet before he can respond. And yet I barely got 3 meters away before I could hear the heavy, telltale footsteps of Ren following close behind once more, like a lost puppy. It was honestly kinda cute. Shaking my head to dismiss those thoughts, I pull out my trusty air mattress from the closet and begin setting it up in the lounge room. That is, until I found that it had a massive gaping hole on the side. Those damn rats, I swear! If I had the chance to move apartments, I'd take it in a heartbeat, but until then, I'll continue to send complaint after complaint to that good-for-nothing landlord. Really, I don't mind sleeping on the floor. And like I said, I have uncomfortable timber flooring, unless you could share my bed. Yeah, let's fucking go. Wow, did I really just suggest that? And where did I suddenly get so much confidence from? I was certain my face was beet red by now, and I could barely spare a glance at Ren to notice he was sporting a similar demeanor. Sorry, I don't know why No, I don't mind, it's just, is that really okay with you? I don't want to make you uncomfortable by invading your personal space, and I really don't mind sleeping on the floor. No, it's fine, I'm the one who asked you to do this favor in the first place, so I owe you. After showing Ren to the bathroom to freshen up and changing into my own pajamas in the laundry room, I met him in the middle, and we both made our way to my bedroom. I didn't bother flicking on the light, knowing fully well that I'd be busy ignoring his presence next to mine by pretending to be asleep. So instead I awkwardly lead him in before turning to face him in the darkness. You can just pick whichever side you prefer. You first. Oh, but maybe I should be the one closest to the door, just in case? He really didn't need to be so considerate, but nevertheless, I took my side on the left and slowly slipped beneath the sheets. It must have looked forced, but I awkwardly pat the empty space next to me and shoot Ren a crooked smile. He slowly makes his way over and joins me underneath the covers, and before he could say anything, I slammed down a pillow between us. Just in case I roll over or something, I'm known to be a cuddler in my sleep. Oh, that's fine. I'm the same, I think. I mean, no one's told me yet, but I've woken up to my limbs tangled around my pillow more times than I can count. I see. Yeah. Right. Now it's awkward again. But being this close to Ren, I could smell his scent once more, and it felt almost comforting. I had to fight the urge to roll over onto my side and face him, or rather the pillow once more. The bed dips as Ren moves around to get comfortable, and I find myself wondering what he might be looking at right now. Was it my ceiling, the pillow between us, or was he laying on his side and facing the wardrobe? Why was I so concerned in the first place? Sure, I suppose I did find him rather interesting, but that didn't explain why I wanted to look at his face one more time. Did I want to get closer to him? Or was I just curious about what that stranger was currently doing in my bed? Yeah, there is a stranger in your bed, Yiddy. I say as I pretend that I'm not the one that clicked all the decisions in the first place. Move the pillow! Before I can stop myself, my hand reaches out to move the pillow from between us. I was immediately met with soft blue eyes, which I could see widen in surprise even in the darkness of the room. Hi. Hey. Talk about awkward. Without realizing it, I discard the pillow somewhere behind me, and I continue to stare deeply into Ren's eyes. There seemed to be some unspoken tension between us, and I had to fight the urge to act upon it. No, don't fight the urge. What exactly was I feeling, and why did I want to find out? Lean over and kiss him, can I? Yeah. Hehe. Before I could think, I find myself leaning over and drawing my face closer to his. Ren seems to be on the same wavelength as me, and I feel his warm breath fan against my cheeks as his own face draws near to close the distance. One of my hands shoots out to rest against his chest, and before I could stop myself, I lean in the rest of the way. Almost immediately, I was met with a pair of soft lips and the taste of cherry on my mouth. My eyelids flutter shut at the sensation, and I let Ren's overwhelming presence engulf my entire being. The smell of fresh mint, masculine deodorant, and something that was so wholly Ren flooded my senses, and I felt myself becoming intoxicated by it all. It was like 2 pieces of a puzzle slotting together with how perfectly our lips seemed to meld with each other, and I couldn't pull myself away. One of his hands rises up to cut my cheek, and I find myself keening softly as Ren tilts his head to deepen the kiss. He takes my bottom lip into his own and gently bites down before his tongue joins in, curiously prodding against my lips as if to test the waters. Hey yo! When I meet him halfway with my own, he seems to have finally found the reassurance he needed before deepening the kiss even more. His other hand rests on my waist before gently pulling me closer, clearly not wanting any distance between us. So Ren wanted this as much as I did. I could feel just how eager he was as he kissed me with more desperation and fervor than anything I'd experienced in my life. But we could only go on for so long before one of us needed air, and that someone happened to be me. When I pull away, Ren practically whines. Oh my god, does he whimper? Ren practically whines at the loss of contact, and I watch with slight amusement as his lips unconsciously follow to seek out mine before his eyes flutter open. A beat passes as we just stare at each other, taking in the moment and to process what had just occurred. His hands are still on me. It was only then when I noticed that he was tracing faint stars on my cheek with his thumb. Did that really just happen? His voice is soft. So soft that I could barely make out what he was saying. He's staring at me with so much overwhelming adoration in his eyes that I couldn't help but look away. And that was when I saw just how hard that kiss affected him. Yeah. He seems almost dazed for a moment as he catches his breath before he doubles over and almost crushes me with the weight of his chest. At my protest, he lethargically rolls to his side, but not before scooping me into his large arms and bringing me along with him. He remains buried inside me, but it felt more like a dull sensation at this point, and I curl myself into Ren's warmth, breathless, sticky, and now perched atop his chest. Ren and I simply laid there as we took in the afterglow of the moment, and what felt like hours seemed to pass as I listened to his breathing. And soon enough, I felt my own come to a slow, even pace. My hand that was stroking up and down my back came to an eventual halt, and I didn't even need to look up now to know that he had already fallen asleep. He still has a protective hold around me though, so I allow the exhaustion to take hold of me and follow him to dreamland. After all, we could talk about what had just happened in the morning. End of day 1! We did it! Yay! That's day 1! I actually really liked that. Despite the fact that I was embarrassed as heck, I had so much fun playing that. Alright, so I think this time I'm just gonna quickly go through it again and see what happens when we reject all of his offers. So we don't talk to him, if we don't invite him over, let's see what happens then. Yinny, you're back? Wait! I can't wait to see you again, Angel. Was it like that before? Did he always say welcome back or something? Or is this just like because I'm doing a playthrough? Let me skip forward just a little bit though. One thing I actually noticed is that depending on what you pick, it actually changes the sprite. So I think I'm gonna go with the short hair this time. Forward, we'll do a comfy outfit, and then we can skip forward to when we meet him. Oh, this like changes a little bit because we picked the comfy outfit. Ducking around the corner and coming into the aisle, I was immediately met with a broad backside that was covered by what had to be the comfiest looking cardigan I'd ever seen. The person whom it belonged to, however, hadn't seemed to notice me yet, so I awkwardly cleared my throat and absent-mindedly shifted my weight from one foot to the other. Oh, he's cute! I think I actually like the shorter hair more. It looks really nice on him. Oh, his sprite is adorable. I think I'm definitely a fan of the shorter hair. Let's skip to our first choice though. So this is if we lie and end the conversation. I just remembered that I was supposed to go and do an inventory check a couple hours ago. If you'll excuse me. Liar. It does the glitchy text right there. No, you don't. Huh? What just happened? The eccentric man seems almost hesitant for a moment before his hand shoots out for a handshake. Most of it was covered by the sleeve of his cardigan, but it was close enough to my line of sight that I could make out the faint cuts and marks lining his fingers. Were those burn marks? If you're busy, then I'll let you go. But my name is Ren, and it was nice meeting you, Yinny. Thanks for your help. Let's skip forward to the next choice. Okay, this time we're not inviting him over. Sorry, I just don't know you well enough for that. No, I totally get it. I don't know why I suggested that in the first place. Right, now it's back to being awkward again. Well, anyways. Yeah, so this is when he gets mad because Eleanor shows up. Next choice. Yeah, so this is when we just meet Leon and Jay all by themselves because Ren isn't with us this time. Back at home, the sounds of my microwave meal and the television filled the silence as I told Moth about my day. Like always, their webcam is pointed to the ceiling with only half of their face in the frame, but I knew it was probably because they hadn't cleaned their room in a while. At that thought, I glanced towards the growing pile of laundry in my basket and made a mental note to take care of it on my day off. But now that I was looking at it, when did I leave it looking so messy? And since when did I put my underwear on top? Eh. Hello, Earth to Uni. You good? Sorry, what were you talking about? I was asking you about that dude from earlier. Like, I seriously can't believe he gave you his number. Oh, so yeah, Ren puts his number on the post-it note instead of the note saying that he'll wait for you outside. Yeah, I'm surprised too. Yeah, no shit. My guy literally couldn't even stutter out a complete sentence, yet he was able to shoot his shot like that. Damn, maybe his dick really is big. Oh my god, Moth! What? I'm just saying. But you'll let me know, right? If his dick is big. I'm hanging up on you. Okay, I'm just kidding. But for real though, did you text him back yet? No, I thought you were supposed to make them wait a day or something. I don't want to seem too eager. So you're saying you're eager? Attention everyone, she's eager as hell. And for a guy who doesn't even know how to grow a backbone. Oh my god, I'm not saying anything, but your neighbors will if you keep shouting like that. Yeah. Okay, look, if it were me, I'd text him back as soon as possible. Maybe even give him a call instead if his voice was as submissive and breedable as he said it was. I literally never said that. That's what you want to believe. Damn it, their laughter was contagious. Why are you still talking to me anyway? Go call up your precious little Haruko 2.0. I got some webtoons I need to catch up on anyway. Oh, speaking of webtoons, did you read the latest chapter of Always With... Alright, I'm hanging up now. See you, Yinny. With a sigh, I watch as the green call button turned red. Moth had always been terrible towards my impulse control, but I adored them either way. Spinning around in my chair, I glance over at my phone, charging on the nightstand, and decide to listen to Moth's words after all. Flopping onto my bed, I scoop my phone up and unlock it. I navigate the Messages app easily and open up a new contact to enter Ren's details. Moments seem to pass as I blankly stare at his number on the screen, and before I could let myself stall any longer, I finally decide on what to do. Alright, this time we block his number and see what happens. Still sitting in the Contacts app, my finger hovers over the block button before I finally decide to press it. While Ren ultimately seemed harmless, his odd and timid behavior rubbed me off the wrong way. Plus, I wasn't entirely convinced that he wasn't the same person Violet saw last night. Sure, their appearances didn't match up at all, but it never hurt to be a little cautious. I climb into bed, with the thought of the supposed intruder still heavy on my mind, but I eventually put it to rest by remembering the heavy-duty lock I bought. There's no way anyone could break in now. And even if they did, I could rely on my neighbor to hear. Often, I'd hear Violet gaming away on her computer until the early hours of the morning, so I felt safe knowing that she'd be around if something went wrong, even if I couldn't hear her right now. Oh well, I'm sure everyone takes gaming breaks every so often. Please don't tell me something happened to Violet. Snuggling deeper into the warmth of my blankets, my eyes begin to feel heavy as I slowly lulled myself into dreamland. Oh no! There's like glitchy text. Wait, I don't like this. Because of this, I failed to notice the sounds of soft footsteps creeping down the hallway. Ugh. Again? Yinny, why are you doing this? You're not gonna find anything here. It's just me. Eek! Nothing else exists here. Why don't you just play the game normally? That way neither of us will have to be stuck in this dark void. I love being with you, watching you interact with everything. Everything is so bright and colorful when you're around. Will you let me out? Oh god. Please, let me out. It's no fun here. I want to be with you. Eek. I love you. Oh my god. I'm such a baby when it comes to like jump scares, even if it's just an image. Oh my god. That's so intense after the good ending that we got though. Oh my goodness. Hang on. So, what if instead this time I just Send them a text. Before I can give myself time to rethink, I shoot Ren a short text explaining who this was and ask if he enjoyed his book. There, that should do it. The response is almost immediate, as my phone screen lights up in my hand and I quickly open up my message app again to check. Hi, Yandere. Yes, I'm reading through it right now. So far it's really good, exactly what I was expecting. Even the way he typed seemed adorable. Hope this isn't weird or anything, but I was kinda hoping you'd text back, and I'm glad you did, so thank you. Thanks for leaving your number. Oh, yeah, no worries. He seemed to take his time with the next response, judging from how the grey typing bubble flashes on the bottom of the screen. I'm glad you didn't throw it away. Actually, I was wondering if you were free tomorrow. I still wanted to thank you for helping me find that book. Wow, was he serious? Like a date? He seems undecided on what to say as the grey typing bubble keeps flashing on the screen. What seems like minutes pass before he finally settles on a response. Yeah, like a date. If that's okay with you. I can pick you up at your place tomorrow and we can go visit the pier or something. Only if you're interested, of course. We can just do whatever you want instead if you prefer. I don't mind. So he wanted to go on a date. Well, it wasn't like I had anything planned for tomorrow. It was my day off after all. Maybe it wouldn't be so bad. Besides, I can't even remember the last time I went out with someone, let alone a date. Yeah, maybe going on a date with him wouldn't be such a bad idea. Besides, Ren didn't seem that bad of a guy. I could use this as an opportunity to get to know him better. He certainly seemed interesting. With that thought in mind, I quickly texted him back with my address and preferred time. Hardly a moment passes before I get a response. Okay, sweet. I'll pick you up at around 11 AM then. I can't wait. Oh, I just saw the time. It's getting pretty late now, huh? I shall let you go to bed. Sorry for keeping you up so late, Yinny. Good night. Thanks again for all your help. After sending him a goodnight text of my own, I place my phone down and crawl into bed. Well, today definitely didn't turn out the way I was expecting to, but at least I scored a date with a cute guy. With his sweet words in mind, I began to drift off. So, Ren, huh? I wonder what tomorrow will bring. Okay, so that is the text ending. I really like how there's different endings. The bad ending definitely jump scared me a little bit, but that is because I am purely just a chicken. Like, I'm not good with any of these things. But I enjoyed this game so much. I cannot wait to have day 2 and 3 ready for you guys to watch as well, and those will be coming up very, very shortly. But overall, I absolutely adore this game. It's really well made. The art is gorgeous, dialogue is really interesting, the story is very intriguing as well, and I think that Dev does a really good job at endearing you to the side characters too and making them very lovable, because I am very, very worried for them, especially Eleanor. And Violet as well. I hope nothing bad has happened to either of them, because, yeah. Thank you so much for hanging out with me as I played this. I hope you guys had a lovely time, just as much as I did. I absolutely had a blast reading to you all, as per usual. If you guys would like to play this and romance Ren for yourself, I have put the link in the description box below. Please give this video a thumbs up if you liked it, and also subscribe so that you can catch my future videos as well. If you have any suggestions as to what games you would like to see me narrate, please feel free to leave them in the comment box below. Until next time, take care!